Invincible season 2 is wrapped up and it was pretty ding dang gosh darn good. So, I was a huge fan of the Invincible comic books before the show ever came out, and I was pretty taken aback by season 1. I mean, obviously I love the comic book, but I just would have never expected that they would nail it to that degree, and it was kind of the perfect adaptation. And then we get into season 2, and the first episode is a little slow. We're dealing with the repercussions of Omni-Man being cringe at the end of Invincible season 1, and then the second episode kind of felt like a filler episode to a certain extent. You have like the fish marriage storyline, which is like, okay, this is fine. And even though I knew that it was going somewhere and that it would be handled well, the introduction of the multiverse, just with the state of comic book media right now, it's not Invincible's fault, but you do just get hit with the pang of, oh my god, I can't take it with the multiverse! But then you get to episode 3 and it's like, oh, okay, this show is amazing again. I really love the whole romance motif where all the different characters were kind of getting paired off and we're seeing a love story happening. And that's what the show does really well, is they write these really fantastic characters that we fall in love with. And they did a really good job of improving upon maybe some of the weaker aspects of the first season, because I will say the one big glaring flaw of the first season is Amber. They make these changes that just make her ultimately not very likable. Especially with the whole thing of her like knowing his secret identity and then being mad because he didn't tell her. I feel like they went really far to make her be like the most supportive girlfriend in the world, and in my opinion they repaired the character enough so that by the time that Amber just decides to end the relationship, very much like she does in the comics, Amber is not being selfish here. She has become a good girlfriend to Mark. This is just a lot to deal with, and it's completely reasonable for Amber to not want to be in a relationship with a superhero. And I really love the way that Invincible explores it. I haven't seen another piece of comic book media explore it to that degree, where the love interest doesn't tragically pass or anything like that. She just goes, this is way too much for me, and I just want to be a normal person. And I think the other big character arc of the season is Rex. I don't think he was bad in the first season. Like, he was an asshole and he was annoying, but that's obviously very intentional, and that's what the character is supposed to be. But in this season, you actually sort of see him mature a bit, after what happened with Eve. And, we really see a natural progression of the character, so that it gets to the point to where when he has his big badass moment against the Lizard League, it's like, damn, like Rex is like low-key one of the best characters of the show. I also really like the relationship between Monster Girl and Robot. It's very weird. Morally gray would be an understatement when you think about like the ages of these characters and the fact that they're stuck in child bodies. And, just the fact that Robot did what he did is kind of creepy, but there's still a very sincere relationship there that I think is very cute. And, what they do with Mark is fantastic as well. The way that they have him grapple with a literal 9/11 and a very personal 9/11 with what his dad did. And the way that he has to deal with the fallout of that and superseding that and not being able to be a college student, not being able to have a normal life, like Amber knowing his secret identity ultimately doesn't fix things because he's a superhero on such a large scale where he's having to go off planet for months at a time. And I absolutely love the conversation that he has with Debbie, where Debbie is kind of earnest and really looks at how, yeah, being married to Omni-Man is rough. Being married to a superhero is rough. It's really lonely. And going off on that, the way that they explores how Debbie's been handling everything is super compelling stuff as well. I love. And yeah, I could sit here and go through all the characters, but yeah, they're all great. Adam Eve is great. Love what they've done with Alan. Omni-Man continues being a very compelling character. Honestly, if I were to sit down and pick like my biggest criticism of the series, it really is the animation. Amazon, you have so much money. You've wasted so much money buying the Lord of the Rings rights. Jeff Bezos, you're like, are you a trillionaire? I don't know. Can you not make the show a little prettier? Like, I'm currently watching X-Men 97, and I feel like it has kind of a similar animation style, but X-Men 97 just looks so much more polished and smooth. But at the same time, I also do understand that Invincible is giving us hour-long episodes, which is obviously like pretty rare for an animated series. So I also understand that it's probably a very expensive show to make already, but there really are just moments where I'm like, I wish that was a little better. That really should be a little better. But honestly, once you get into an episode and you get sucked into the story, you really don't think about it too much. But I mean, yeah, Invincible season 2, I think, again, continues to reiterate why Invincible is invincible. You know, it's not a physical thing where he's physically invincible. It's his sheer willpower and to not become his dad, not become Omni-Man, and you know, the way that gets challenged at the end of the season with Angstrom Levy and Mark ending up killing him. That's why we've seen like the title card shattering and stuff like that. It was all leading up to that last episode where Angstrom Levy chinks at the invincible armor and makes Mark kill him, and that whole motif was very powerful. And yeah, I mean, obviously that last episode with Angstrom Levy was absolutely brutal. I mean, well, you know, one of the things about the finale of Invincible was like that scene in the train where Omni-Man like puts Mark up to the train and you see all the bodies just splattering, and it was like, damn, this show is willing to just show everything. No, they're not going to show Mark popping a child in front of his father. But holy shit, Angstrom Levy snapping Debbie's arm was rough to watch. I really did not enjoy watching that. But yeah, Invincible season 2, absolutely phenomenal. They've said that the wait for season 3 is not going to be nearly as long. Also, stop with the mid-season breaks. I think they're stupid. Even if the reason is because of like, oh, the animators need more time to finish the series. It's like, okay, then wait to start airing the show until it's all ready. Like, that's such a lame excuse. But yeah, love season 2. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.